Good morning. I just wanted to share a little philosophical thought uh, lesson for you this morning, particularly entrepreneurs. So, hey, entrepreneurs, pay attention. This is for you. I got to thinking this morning as I was watching the sun rise across the lake, and the cat was sitting in my lap, and I started thinking about the cat versus the dog and how they're so different in their behaviors and how they go about doing things. And then I realized I was basically talking about entrepreneurs. In fact, I probably have the same uh, traits, or I'm kind of a cross between a dog and a cat, which is why I can have both and survive. I grew up as a dog person. Now I'm more of a cat person, but I've had both at the same time. I enjoy the animals and the love that they share. But that being beside the point, let's talk about entrepreneurs. I got to thinking about this as I was having that early morning coffee and just thinking about the day and what I'm going to be doing with my clients. And it popped into my head that, entrepreneurs are like cats or they're like dogs. And for that matter, leaders can be the same way. So here's the analogy. Cats. Let's look at a cat and compare that to an entrepreneur. Cats are independent, as are most entrepreneurs. They choose that independence and freedom. They do not want to be constrained. Cats are able to focus on one thing at a time. At least my cats, they have the ability to just drive me crazy by focusing on that one thing that they want. And they don't want too many things. It's usually, oh, three things at max that they care about. And otherwise, I don't really hear from the cat very much. He's, like I said, he's focused. They're curious yet cautious. They don't run into things. They don't take too many risks, which is an interesting approach to life. As an entrepreneur, if you're overly cautious, you can actually limit your business opportunities. But being curious is a good thing because you're constantly asking questions. You're trying to discover what is going on. And then cats do their own thing. Like I said, this is related to the independence factor that they have. They do their own thing. You can call them, whistle at them, clap your hands, do whatever you want to do, and they're going to do what they want to do. Just like a lot of entrepreneurs I know, they want to do that one thing that is important to them, and they're not going to pay any attention to anybody else. And in some cases, this is even bad because it's a customer or someone that they ultimately will rely upon. They're too busy doing their own thing. Also, cats are quiet and reserved. Now, you may have an exception to the rule if you have a cat that's loud and obnoxious and howling all the time. But my cat's pretty quiet. In fact, it's almost stealth how he can walk around and just suddenly be there under your feet and you did not hear him coming, or he jumps up in your lap, from, I'm not going to say entrepreneurs jump up in your lap, but some of them are quiet. They don't let you know they're there. They just kind of do good work. And I can relate to that. Reserved now, I cannot relate to being reserved other than my partner is probably a lot more reserved than I am. So, it's an interesting approach. And then dogs. Let's talk about dogs and how they're different and how that could apply to an entrepreneur. Dogs are more social. They love a good group meeting and they run around and wag their tail and carry on and just have a good time. With the more the merrier, and that's a great thing. They really enjoy a lot of people and interaction. They're easily distracted by new opportunities. I don't know about you, if you've ever walked a dog, they're sniffing constantly. Every new scent has to be investigated. That's the same thing that serial entrepreneurs have a tendency to do, is constantly looking at new opportunities and losing focus on their most important thing they're supposed to be doing, or they want to combine everything they're, this new thing with what they've been doing, and it just distracts them and in many cases overwhelms them with too many ideas. And by the way, a dog entrepreneur is probably one that is constantly creating new ideas, which is being easily distracted by new opportunities rather than focusing on what's working and the processes that are needed to grow and stabilize the business, and in some cases scale the business to new levels. Dogs are risk takers. They will get involved in a lot of things. Sometimes it's to their detriment. They're risk takers. They're curious. They get into stuff. Same thing with entrepreneurs that are dog-like. They just get into things. They take too many risks, and oftentimes, and cause themselves a little grief. I can raise my hand on that. I have dog traits for sure. Wants to play at the drop of the hat, and boy, that's me. I can relate to that. Dogs will immediately go from sleep to play in a nanosecond. I've observed it way too often, and it's kind of funny. Now, also, the last thing, whereas cats were quiet and reserved, dogs are loud and expressive. They bark, they run around, they get excited, they let you know they're there. You can hear them coming like a horse in some cases. The bigger the dog, the more you can hear them coming, whereas a cat is stealth, and they can sneak up on you in a heartbeat. And that's, so how do you compare that to entrepreneurs? There are some entrepreneurs out there who are loud and expressive and just get out front and say stuff. A lot of times they say things that they don't mean to say at the moment, but they say it anyway. They can't help themselves. And because they're so expressive, I'm accused of talking too much on a regular basis, sort of like today's live event is that I'm talking about a story, about thinking about the dog versus a cat and relating it to entrepreneurs. I mean, how crazy and expressive can you get with something like that? And that's just part of the personality that entrepreneurs bring. And you can be one or the other, or a slight combination of both. And it's one of those things that is relaxing and at the same time can cause a lot of anguish. Now, what entrepreneurs need to know is that they need to focus on 1 to 3 things. They need to focus primarily on their unique abilities in life. What are those unique abilities? And then do more of them, because that's your natural strength. You need to do that every day and all day. And it's part of your process. You should have a limited number of objectives to do, and do those no matter what. Focus is critically important. Now, being a cautious risk taker is a good thing, because that allows you to get a return. You're always pushing the envelope, and you're not satisfied with the status quo and the comfort zones that a lot of people fall into. And then look for opportunities that relate to what your primary focus is. Don't try to go out and recreate the wheel every quarter or every month or every year. Just come up with related items, new products that relate to your market and are supportive of what you're already selling, so that you can create markets or market opportunities, really. And that's the new opportunities that you need to focus on, and not just total distractions. So that's kind of it for the day. Sometimes I tease my brain with thoughts in the morning. I don't know if you're like that, but it can be, sometimes it's kind of scary to get inside my brain and listen to it talk to itself. But with that, I just want to close out and say, have a great day, a great week. And I'm going to come out starting the end of this week with the concept of business, of understanding your driving business concept, which to me is a critical strategy item for entrepreneurs and leaders to understand and know. And with that, I want to thank you for your time today. You take care. Have a great day.